Alright everybody, hopping right into this one. I have my recording set to an hour, and this one's coming to us right at the beginning of my one-shot qualifying lap, which means that this is a long race, which, spoiler alert, means multiple safety cars, but that makes it interesting. So, heading into here, as you can see, I probably could have taken more curb than what you would see on typical hot laps, but since it's one-shot qualifying, the last thing I want to do is get an invalidation on my lap. So even if I don't qualify pole, I'll probably qualify second if the lap isn't the best, but that's way better than starting at the back, not only for the obvious reason of starting further back in the pack, but also because... yeah, you hear me yelling at the cat there. Phoebe picked a great time to jump on my lap, which was during qualifying here. So yeah, she didn't want to mess with me all day. Didn't want anything to do with me all day. But as soon as it's league race time, you know, now it's jumping Logan's lap time. But overall, not a bad lap. And we're going to come across the line and see how we did. We're qualifying on softs here because it's a two-stop race here at Mexico. I believe it's 2 stints on the softs, 1 on the mediums, or is it 2 medium, 1 soft? I don't remember, but we're going to see in the race. Qualifying ends. But yeah, the other reason I was going to say was obviously not just where you start is better than when you invalidate, but also a greater chance of not getting caught up in incidents if you're in front of where the incidents happen, you know, compared to behind. And a big thing there is that Timo actually invalidated on his lap time, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Mexico, very easy track to get an invalidation on, and it happened to him, unfortunately. But, well, fortunately for us, because that makes things a lot easier. But I've already spoiled that there will be safety cars, so that will help him close the gap back up. But yeah, if you qualify in the back like that, you don't have the chance of catching someone that's a similar pace to you if a safety car doesn't come out. But we saw Andrew, P2, not far behind. He had good pace here. And we'll see what goes on in this race. So going in here, I was expecting safety cars. Kind of an easy track to bend it on. It's one of those tracks, I compare it to Australia, where it's not a difficult track in general, but it is very punishing when you make mistakes. Like in that XS section, if you lose it at full throttle, you're going to go into a concrete wall because you're at such high speed. And as the cat makes another appearance, see, she hears me talking to someone that's not her, so then she gets kind of jealous and she has to come check it out. So, yep, as you can see here, getting the strategy set and right, getting the fuel right. And yeah, hopefully we can get a good launch off the line. Bad thing about starting up front here is that while I do usually get good grid starts, sometimes it's not even enough because you got such a long run to the first corner that, you know, that's a lot of slipstreaming opportunity that the cars behind have. So the lights are going to go out now. Not the best start, a little bit of wheel spin off the line. Andrew gets a great start, and he's going to be able to hop into my slipstream here. I'm going to make my defensive move to the inside. He bumps me a little bit, but all is good. And I'm not going to risk anything here. I know that Timo starts at the back, and last thing I want to do is throw away one of these races early on. So we're just going to stay patient here, not waste all of our ERS. And yeah, play the long game. 36 laps. You don't want to lose it all on lap 1. Yeah, and there it is again. So something else that the cat likes to do is she's sitting on my lap and I don't pay immediate attention to her. She will get up on my chest and just right in my mouth, you know, right in my face. She'll touch noses with me. It's like, hey, you need to pay attention to me now. It's like I can give her pets when I'm on the straightaway, but you know, that's still not good enough for her sometimes. You know, when they want attention, they need attention. But yeah, nice clean lap so far. This track is really fun to drive. And yep, we're staying nice and close to Andrew, and hopefully we get a nice run down the straight. Not too much pressure coming behind, but I am sure that Timo will be able to make his way through the pack pretty quickly. So while it's kind of a happy medium I want to find here, where I don't want to over push and allow for any kind of mistake or incident to happen here early on, but at the same time I don't want to wait so long to be able to make a move here that Timo just catches right back up to us and I lose all the advantage I had. And I can see here that Andrew's definitely burning ERS because I had to run on him and then he still increased his speed, so I'm really gonna kind of play it safe here in terms of my ERS usage. I'm gonna be aggressive in terms of trying to make the move, but I'm gonna hang on to ERS, so when I do make the pass, I have an ERS advantage that allows me to pull away afterwards. So that's the plan here. But will it work out? You know, who knows? I mean, I know because the race already happened, but you, the viewer, you don't know. So stay tuned. Alright, in the final sector here of the second lap. Not fast forwarding far here at all. Low attendance for this race, only 9 drivers. We had 10 for the first doubleheader. So someone showed up for the first half of the doubleheader, but didn't stay for the second race of the doubleheader. I don't get it, but here we are again, making the move. Andrew burning the ERS to stay ahead. Fair play to him. He didn't come here to sit around in second. He came here to fight for a win. You gotta respect it. And we're giving each other the car's width. Nice clean driving here. We get the move done. I think he may have either clipped the curb a little bit there on the inside, or maybe tried to go on the throttle a little aggressively there. Allows us to open up a little bit of a gap here. But now the only bad thing is if I don't open up a full second gap, is that he'll have the DRS to be able to pull himself right back to me. So this is where I really want to use that extra juice I got. Still got 80% there, as you can see. And I feel like I got decent pace here. I feel quick through the S section. My setup's very stable, so I feel comfortable pushing pretty hard without the rear of the car slipping out.
Okay, clear.
And in there you can see Andrew does spin behind me. And again, the Logan curse, I'm calling it, where every time I get anywhere near someone and have a battle with them in this league, they spin. I swear I'm not hexing them. I don't believe in witchcraft. I don't practice witchcraft. I don't live in Salem, so don't even want to hear it. It's a virtual safety car. I forget why I paused there. I like to try to remember why I do like a quick pause so I can explain what's going on my end, but I forget what that was from. Well, anyhow, we got a virtual safety car, and I'm going to leave plenty of room for margin, especially because I got a big gap behind, and what happened at China in the last episode. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch what happens under VSC to me there, and listen to my rant, and listen to me get pissed off and also cuss. So if you like a pissed off American cussing at a video game, last video is a great one for you. So yeah, I decided not to pit there. I figured it was too early in the stint to pit.
Maintain your pace until the green flag.
You know, there's still a lot of energy in these softs that I can get out of them that I didn't think pitting under a virtual safety car would gain me that much time going mediums to the end from here. So we're just going to stick with the game plan here and continue with the avoid people strategy. You know, I could have pit. Maybe it could... Yeah, I was mad at myself there for allowing myself to get a dumb warning there, but it is what it is. Yeah, just got to put it in the solid laps now. Try their best not to get a penalty and make the best out of these softs while we still got them. I mean, we'll be going on to another set of softs. Yeah, like I said, I just thought it was too easy. Yeah, not too easy. Too early to pit under that virtual safety car.
At the moment, the car behind us is lapping faster than us by around 1 second.
And that's how I knew that it was Timo behind me. He gained a second under the VSC, or maybe he had a good run on DRS to have put in a fast lap. But either way, I see you starting on mediums. And yeah, now it's just head down focus time. In situations like this in league races, something I always tell people is that you gotta learn to never get lazy. Every single corner of every single lap, focus. It's more about the thinking part than the controller part, you know. You play the game enough that you shouldn't have to think about things with your hands. You should just think about the focusing part, like really focus in on I'm braking here, I'm letting off here. Really focus in and don't get lazy on any lap. Obviously it's easier said than done, and you've seen instances where I kind of slack off on certain laps, but every single lap can matter. I mean, even though we have a safety car here, it pulls the whole field up, but if there wasn't another safety car, what if I'm on a different strategy than someone else and they're quick? You know, you don't know these kind of things that are happening behind you, so you need to make sure that your total race time is as short as possible, so every single one of these laps can matter. I get in a lot of league races where the difference between every position is less than a second, so every little mistake, every single sausage curb you clip, every single sausage curb they clip, every mistake picks you or they have, it can really change the flow of an entire race. You know, it really is a game of seconds, even though you're doing a race that's just shy of an hour long. So understand that every lap is important, and I'm sure everyone watching this video can think of a time where it was like, yes, like my race was generally boring, but in hindsight every single lap, every single tenth ended up mattering. So yeah, the theme of this one is just always remain in focus. We're first right now, only 7 cars left in the race, but just because there isn't that many cars left in the race doesn't mean that my race changes at all. I mean, I still need points, still in a league, still in a championship battle, and my main competition is still in this race. So it doesn't matter if only 2 cars show up or 20 cars show up. Me and Timo are battling nonetheless, and just can't get lazy. So yep, safety car here, and I'm gonna fast forward to the end of the safety car here, so you guys don't have to watch me sit behind Mr. Mylander for an hour.
Approaching the safety car.
I did go to the mediums here. I figured it was too early in the race to be able to do my second set of softs to 1 set of mediums to make it to the end of the race. So I'm just splitting up the rest of the race. 15 lap. It's lap 6 to 36, so subtract that. 30 laps roughly left. 15 laps on each set of mediums. And that seems like a nice solid strategy to run out the course of the rest of this race. Alright, now fast forwarding to the end of this safety car. We're on lap 7 now, so just 1 more lap in the future. And I hate going too slow here. I wish the game let me get closer to the safety car. I feel bad for the cars behind because it's such a dramatic slowdown, but I'm literally on the gas and the game won't let me go faster. So it is what it is. Yeah, in real time I was complaining about it then, I'm complaining about it now, still complaining about it. And a track like this, there isn't really a good spot to launch, there isn't really a good spot to like build that gap, you know, it's very hard to make your restart unpredictable, which is what I like to do. Not unpredictable in the sense of my pace, you know, I keep a nice smooth pace, but just the moment I launch, you know, you can't be predictable with that and just let someone pounce on you, so you gotta do everything you can to try to protect the position, because you know that most league racers will be extremely aggressive, especially on restarts like this. And now me and Timo fighting for the lead side by side through this corner, but we're gonna be able to hang on to the lead for now. And this is kind of where I don't want to be. Like, yeah, I can't control when safety cars come out, and it is kind of a shame that that kind of nullifies all the advantage that I had on them. So now we're just gonna be fighting neck and neck on a track where it's pretty easy to follow the car ahead for probably the remainder of this race, unless if something else happens. But would something else happen? I mean, only I know. And right there, he had a mistake there. He almost slammed it into the wall, crashing himself out. The Logan curse happens once again. That's going to be the meme for the rest of the entire season, it seems like. And that gives us just enough breathing room here to hopefully we can pull out the 1 second gap to get out of his DRS. And as we fast forward here, I cut the damn corner and get myself a stupid penalty. I hate seeing those. Obviously, mentally, you're trying not to get penalties, but when you're racing on the limit, playing with such fine margins, it's obviously one of those things that's easier said than done. Like, oh, just don't get penalties. Like, yeah, you try to drive at an extremely fast pace all the time and not barely cross over a white line that you're on the limit of all the time. You know, it's obviously easier said than done. Obviously, I want to err a little bit on the side of caution, but again, when I'm in a situation like this trying to break away from a guy, if you back off too much, then he's just going to get my DRS and pass me. If I don't back off enough, then there's more of a risk of me getting a penalty. But at the end of the day, I just got to not fuck up and run over the line, but then again, I'll say easier said than done. But now that I know that I got warnings to play with, I was aggressive there over the curbs. It did get a little bit of a warning, but I'm trying to keep that distance out of the DRS from Timo. We only got 6 cars left in this race, or as I like to call it, a classic Gran Turismo lobby. But yeah, my fight is still the same, whether there's 20 cars or 2, it's still me and Timo here up front, and I got to remain just as focused on every single one of the 27 remaining laps. At the end of lap 11, I couldn't catch exactly what happens, but as I look behind me, there's now all of a sudden a big gap behind me. The Logan curse strikes again. You know, whatever car is the nearest car to me, it seems like is going to be the next car to spin. It seems to be the trend going on in this league. I don't know what's going on, and I'm even out of analogies and jokes, which is, that's real something for me, but yeah. And then there we have another caution. Just cautions all over the place. You just saw my teammates jumping into pits. Two local yellows within the span of 1 sector for me. Shit's really kicking off. I don't know what's going off like further back in the grid, if it was collisions or people just generally making mistakes, but it just seemed like there was local yellows and also full course yellows, just absolutely left and right in this race. I feel like I spent more time yellow than green. You know, we're only on lap 11, and at this point, this race has already gone on for 20 minutes. And yeah, now as you can see, I fast forward all the way to lap 24. Absolutely nothing has happened. I am still on the same mediums that I was on. I saw that my tire wear was better than I anticipated it was going to be on the medium, so I was just extending the medium stint there in the middle, and I was going to go to softs right at the end of the race and have a nice fast finish. I was just kind of managing the tires, managing the gap. My teammates a lap down here, and here's...
we will be penalized. There is no overtaking during the safety car period.
Yeah, this was a frustrating moment for me. I don't know what's going on, especially because we just had a race at China where MoJo got herself disqualified by passing under yellow, and everyone saw that happen. So what do people do in the next race? Hey, it's yellow, let's go past Logan. You know, and then now I'm pissed because I got Timo right behind me. I now have 8 seconds of penalties. Safety car, the gap closes up. Yeah, and you're gonna hear me rant about it. Like, it's just a frustrating thing where I had a huge gap up front, fully in control of the whole race, and then a safety car comes out and you get overtaken under yellow by a lap car, and it gives me an illegal overtake when he gives me the place back, and then he, what was it, slams on the brake or spins, and then, you know, I just get stuck with a penalty. So luckily that's a 5-second penalty that I can serve here in the pits.
Go now.
But it's still extremely frustrating nonetheless, and it just shouldn't be happening. Like, yellow flags are out. Yellow means do not pass. So when I get passed under yellow, then I get a penalty because of it. You know, it's just a really frustrating thing. But it is what it is. We're on the softs, going to the end of the race. Like I was saying, my tire wear was better than I thought it was going to be on the medium, so we're going to be fast on the softs at the end. And up to this point, that large gap that I skipped, again, like I said, nothing really happened. I was just cruising up front by myself. But now, at least we're on the fresh softs. Only 5 cars remain in the race. But now we got time penalties, and we're going to have Timo hot behind our tail. So while a lot's already happened in this race, it is still far from over. And again, anything can change in a moment's notice. We were ahead and absolutely dominating the race, even though there wasn't that many cars on track. Everyone was spread out. Boom. 2 quick things happen. Matt Scotsman crashes, safety car happens, teammate overtakes me under safety car, I get a penalty. Just like that, the entire race can flip on its head. So sometimes it's unfortunately things that you can't control, but sometimes it is, and you always just got to control what you can control, and like I said, do your best and not get lazy and keep that focus, because every single one of these 36 laps matter, and any single corner on any one of those 36 laps could be your demise, as you've seen already from literally half the field. So yeah, got to keep that focus and remember that you got to get to the finish line to be able to get those points. And yeah, here's something really awkward that happens. Checking the time chart. Michael Orange is in 2nd place. Timo in 3rd. And we get a super late notice safety car coming in. Literally on the final corner I get the notice. I'm forced to slow down. I launch as soon as I can because I felt bad that the field got so scrunched up at such a random time. And now I am not saving any juice, as I think now my teammate has set a record for most pit stops in this league in one race. And yeah, here comes everyone behind me. You know, it's one of those stressful moments where you're just hoping, you know, no one beat me into the corner, please. No one beat me in the corner. But we stay ahead of one corner. I'm hoping Timo and Michael Orange fight a little bit. It helps me build a gap, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. And Timo is going to be right up my chuff. Going for the move here. We're going to be able to hang on to it on the outside. Luckily, I kind of anticipated the move a little bit, so I took a little bit more of an optimal line as far as going to the outside of the apex is concerned. But yeah, now I'm checking for penalties, so let's see what Jeff says here.
6.1. They have a time penalty of 6.0.
He has a 6-second time penalty. I'm only on 3 seconds as it stands because I was luckily able to immediately serve the 5-second penalty. You know, sometimes the game is iffy about serving 5-second penalties in the pits under safety car, but luckily there it allowed me to serve it not only under yellow but also on the lap that had happened. So that was a disaster avoided, you know, that, because if that wouldn't have been, if I wouldn't have been able to serve that, that would have just been a race loss right there. So, I mean, I might have a decent lead in the championship right now, but, you know, I'm a competitor. I like to come out and do my best in every single race and always race for the win. You know, it's what I enjoy about league racing, playing the game against other good players and just giving your all every week. You know, you only get one chance to compete every week, so you want to make the most of that one race, you know, so every single race matters to us. And here we have another great battle with Timo, which is great to see because makes for more interesting videos than guy spins and then I just cruise to a win like last week. So yeah, he's right up our chuff. Only 5 cars remaining in the race, but still fighting just as hard. 9 laps to go, and again, it's the same story as usual where I'm just trying to break out of the DRS, finding that balance of using ERS to get away, but not using too much that I don't have enough to fight. And I've already used 40% of my ERS, which is more than I usually do, but I was really adamant about trying to pull a gap, because even if he does overtake me, it'll be easier to stay within 3 seconds, because I'm using ERS. It's going to force him to use ERS, so then he doesn't have ERS to both overtake me and then try to break away. That, and if I can hold off him passing me for as long as possible, that eliminates as many laps as possible that he would have if he does overtake me to try to build that gap. So if I played a conservative, saved ERS, but he passed me here on lap 29, then, you know, that gives him 7 laps opportunity to break away. Whereas if I use my ERS and I'm really aggressive, kind of forces him to use ERS to counter that and stay close to me. And if he does overtake me, maybe I can hold him off the lap, you know, 32, 33. And that just gives him way less time to build the gap that he needs to build to win this race. Oh, excuse me. Also, I do think I'm on 2 warnings onto my second penalty, so I need to make sure I don't get a second penalty, because then we're straight up racing then. So I mean, as fun as a straight up race is, when you have the 3-second time penalty advantage, you generally want to keep that, you know. It's really convenient to only having to stay within 3 seconds of a car than having to finish in front of them on track. So you take every advantage that you can get over the course of a race, and this is definitely one that we want to make the most of. A little blip in the recording, so I fast forward a little bit. This is just the second straight on the very next lap. Timo didn't get a run on the home straight, but he got a run on the second straight. Unable to make the move there. My teammate retires from this session. And is that a virtual or a full safety car? Another full safety car. And yeah, it's actually really fortunate that we are able to stay ahead of him, Timo there, because now this is, again, it will be the same situation where we both have full ERS, but I have the track position when he needs to not only overtake me, but then build that gap. So if anything, the safety car actually helps me, because this just eliminates pretty much half the remaining time in this race where Timo can overtake me and then, again, build that gap. But the bad thing is, you know, this race has been going on for a long time, and this is the second race, remember, of a double header. The China race was right before this. I kind of pull a little bit of a fake there. I wanted to pit, but at the same time, my tires were still fresh, and because I have the penalty advantage, I wanted to keep the track position for all the reasons I stated earlier, and I don't want to rehash over that. But Timo will have fresh softs, so that will be a little bit of a sketchy situation. But again, I can use the ERS to try to delay the inevitable of him probably overtaking me, especially with the fresher tires now, and not just the DRS that he'll be getting down these 2 long straights.
Approaching the safety car,
see if we're able to hold this one off.
Stay behind the safety car.
And yeah, now safety car coming in on lap 32, so we have 4 laps to go at the line. We are down to 4 people in this lobby. We went from a classic Gran Turismo lobby to a classic Need for Speed lobby with now 4 cars. And I forget who the other 2 remaining cars are, but really it's coming down to 2. It's coming down to me and Timo. Once again, story of the season. And let's see if we can get a good launch here. Don't want to be too predictable with my launch. And it looks like we get a good launch on him. And hopefully can stave him off down this front straightaway. Gotta get a little drink. It's a stressful one. Gotta stay hydrated. Yeah, he's the largest slipstream down that front stretch. He's gonna be able to make the move here. Nice aggressive move by him. Leaves just a little bit of a margin for room there, but with those fresh tires, he's able to make the move. Very well done by him. We're gonna try to fight back, but we just got to stay within those 3 seconds. We're going to be aggressive on the braking, give him the space. Yeah, this is just some good fighting right here. You love to see it. And again, just got to stay within those 3 seconds. So that's my worry now. And when he has the fresh sauce versus my older sauce, you know, he will have a tire advantage. So this is a little bit of a worrying thing, you know. It is definitely possible for him to open up that 3-second gap. So I need to make sure I not only push to stay with him, but I can't get a single warning. One warning, again, will give me a second penalty, and then he's then winning. So, yeah, he's still on 6 seconds. So unless he'll get another penalty, then, you know, then we'll be even. And since he has a track position advantage, he just wins. So, and unlucky for us now, we don't get DRS until lap 35. But hopefully we're able to stay close enough here. I think we are just within the slipstream. Yeah, we will be just barely in the slipstream here. As you can see, we have absolutely gapped the rest of the field. I think both third and fourth place here had issues on the opening lap after the safety car. And yeah, we're not even playing mounting those sausage curves anymore. We don't want to get any warnings. We do not want to get this penalty and throw away all chances of winning this race. But it seems like we're staying close enough for now, actually. I feel very quick in sector 2 and 3. And that's great because that's where he should be having the advantage, in the corners. But if we can even just stay with him in the corners, you know, if I can stay within DRS for the next lap, that'll basically be done and dusted because he's not going to open up 3 seconds in a single lap. But if he can be outside of the DRS coming into this lap, you know, maybe then he does have a chance. So far from over yet, even though we've already been racing for 53 minutes. It is still neck and neck, less than a second between us, with only 2 of the 36 laps to go. And coming around, it will be DRS activated this lap, but we won't get it on the front stretch because the activation point is before the home stretch. So when DRS enables, it enables the activation lines, because the activation line was before the start-finish line. You don't get it on this straight. And it's the same activation line for the first and second DRS zones here. So we won't get the DRS on this straightaway either. So we're only going to be able to get the DRS on the last lap. That is if we are even within a second of them. But we're going to stay on board here for the remainder of the race. I mean, close race like this, there isn't really anything to fast forward now. You know, it's not like that 20 laps in the middle where absolutely nothing happened. Now in the last, 10, 12 laps, everything is kicked off at once, even if half of those laps were behind Burt Mylander, who I believe had most laps led today. Nice little joke there, but yeah, I think we are out of DRS here, which is, again, a little worrying, but we just got to stay within those 3 seconds and only one more lap to decide this one. It looks like we're pulling in just a little bit here in the stadium section, but will it be enough? The activation line was right there coming out of that little kink left-hander.
4 laps of fuel remaining.
And I think it may have been enough. Is it? No, it was not enough. I remembered incorrectly. Seems like I've remembered a lot of things in this race incorrectly. But yeah, no saving the juice now. I know that Timo's going to be in the same boat, but it does seem as though we're comfortably within 3 seconds. You know, we're even comfortably within 2 seconds. His tire advantage hasn't been too much, that he is just absolutely driven away from me, which is something that I was worried about a little bit. And as we stay close to him on this straightaway as well, you know, I'm feeling very comfortable now to just focus on not making any big mistake and being able to take this one on penalties. You know, it's not the most glorious way to win a race, but it still counts all the same. Yeah, thanks, Jeff, on giving me all the most important and relevant information right now when I'm in a battle for the win on the last lap of the race. Thanks for telling me about the cars, not within our view behind. And yeah, we're even within 1 second here. Just got to keep it solid and not get a penalty in the stadium section. And we'll be able to pick up another win here, which is great, not just for drivers, but for the Constructors' Championship, which is still a fight as well. And come around the final corner. Timo's going to cross the line first.
To whom it may concern.
And he's going to get his win audio. I want my win audio when I win races. It's not right. I'm going to complain about that, send in a formal complaint to Codemasters about the audio when you cross the line, and also the way VSCs work, if you guys remember in China. But yeah, and MoJo gets her first podium, so interesting results here. Our teammate still comes in 5th, even though he DNF'd. Only 9 cars in this race, and yeah, that's a solid 35 points for Red Bull in this race compared to only 17 for the Williams team. So Another big weekend for us, doubleheader, 2 wins. Can't complain about that at all. So I forget what the next track was, but I'm sure you guys will see that video soon enough. But until then, we'll give you one final look here at the standings if they do pop up. Probably only see it very briefly as the video does come to an end because I ran out of recording time. There it is, there's the standings, another good result for us, and we still lead in the penalty standings as well.